Wrote an article, 3 Browns players who have surprised in the first half of the season. Take us through that and kind of the thought behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting, I think, when we heard from Andrew Berry last Wednesday at the bye week press conference, how he brought up how this team's strengths might look different than what they originally anticipated. And I think we've kind of seen that play out. So the 3 guys I focused on for that article were Martin Emerson, who is a guy who I think the Browns were always very high on. I think we saw that by how they drafted him in the 3rd round. And this was a guy who was projected to go anywhere from the 3rd through the 5th rounds of this year's draft. No one really knew what to make of him. But with Denzel Ward's injury, it gave him an opportunity, and he really, I think, has had a very nice year. You look at PFF at some of the advanced stats. I mean, he's the most targeted defensive back on the Browns. He's one of the most targeted rookie corners in the league because, of course, teams like to test out rookies. But he is really holding opponents and not allowing them to make many big receptions on him. And I think the handful of them that you do see, for example, that amazing George Pickens catch that he had when the Browns played the Steelers, that was on Martin Emerson's assignment, but that was just an amazing catch. There wasn't really anything else he could have done differently. And then up front in the defense, I really focused on Sione Takitaki. I think is having his best year of his career. And that's a name at linebacker who I always think we think of him as a steady contributor and a big help in the run game, maybe a rotational player, but it's kind of to the point now where it's for the Browns, thank God they have him because of Anthony Walker's injury. Jacob Phillips, he has an injury now. He's obviously on IR with that pec injury, but he wasn't really popping before that. And then Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, he's a guy we thought would make a big second-year jump immediately, but he's struggled with injuries too. I think he had a groin issue just a few weeks ago that he was battling. So I think he's kind of been in and out, but Taki has really stepped up for them. And if you watched him against the Bengals, he was just flying all over the field. And then up front, on the line, I singled out Isaiah Thomas because I think what he's done in limited snaps has just been so unexpected. Unlike, an Alex Wright who has played well. But I think the Browns kind of always anticipated that Alex Wright would contribute in some capacity this year. Isaiah Thomas is a guy who a few months ago, we were questioning if he would even be able to make the initial 53-man roster, given how this team has made up. But he's had some really big plays the last few weeks. Obviously, the fumble recovery against the Ravens. He got his first career sack against Joe Burrow when the Browns beat the Bengals. So he's had a really, I think, kind of surprising start to his year that's really helped them when they've been thin at edge rusher this year.
Yeah, I would agree. He's flashed. He certainly is somebody that you kind of went, wow, So Thomas has been a pleasant surprise.